The house that had been your parents' was nice and quite homey. It was left to you as a surprise, perhaps to find something to keep you afloat when you received the bad news of their death. It almost worked out. You knew they couldn't complain about getting a house like this out of the blue, and the fact that it was your parents' last gift before they died made it much more special. But you had to admit that leaving your best friend a house you rented together, plus getting to a new place on your own hadn't been easy. Of course, you had offered him to move in with you, but he refused. Rejection didn't do you any good. You tried to convince him, even offering him to not pay rent. But all that just led to a deep conversation where it told you you had to learn to live on your own. You had ended a relationship with your toxic partner relatively recently. He hurt you in more ways than one, and you were still surprised that everything turned out okay in the end. It had been a nightmare, the whole thing. But your friend had been there to help you. Maybe it was right when he told you you were depending on him too much. Live at least 1 year without me, he asked you. And even though you didn't want to at first, in the end you were convinced that it would be best for you. Still, not everything was lost. You wouldn't live with your friend, but he himself had suggested you rent a room. That way, you could earn money and have company. Perhaps the only problem now would be finding someone. Your best idea was to ask people you know, and when that didn't work, you turned to online ads. It wasn't going very well. You had received some messages, several people interested in fact, but you hadn't found anyone yet. Until now, the excuses were about the price, the rules you set, or that it was far from everything. And those who didn't have a problem with that gave you a bad feeling. You could only wait. Today was your day off and you were hoping to use it to keep looking for the right person. But while you waited for more messages to arrive... go to sleep or eat something? Ooh, that's a toughie. I'm gonna eat something, why not? I don't know if this changes the story. You had a very late breakfast, but you didn't feel like eating too much. Looking for something light and fast to prepare, you found a pack of popcorn you must have forgotten you bought. You put them in the microwave and a few minutes later, everything was ready. Warm and full of butter, these could never fail. You turn on the TV and find something you could watch while waiting for news. After a while, you found a really bad soap opera with terrible performances, but pretty soon you couldn't look away. Until your phone rang. Yeah, I'm gonna check my phone. You took your phone and swiped your finger across the screen to unlock it and check the messaging app. Oh, Messias? Hello! It was an unknown number. Maybe that would have surprised you before, or even scared, thinking it could be your ex trying to contact you by a new number as he did on more than one occasion before. But these days, you had already gotten used to that. You took a deep breath. Here you went once more. Like all times before, you hoped this would be the last time. It had to be the right person. Hello there! Hi! An answer came immediately. That's not immediate, that took quite a while. I want info about the room. Made sense. You settle on the couch, getting ready to have the conversation you've had several times before. For starters, you need to know who you were talking to. What's your name? I'm Kato. A pleasure to meet you. You sounded kind. That was a good thing. You made sure to add him. Hey, can I call you? The sudden question surprised you. Yeah, sure, why not? Nowadays, it's rare for someone to speak by phone rather than text. But you couldn't deny it was going to be a better way to communicate. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna answer it. Yep. It didn't give you time to answer. The screen changed and the phone started vibrating and ringing in your hand as if it had a life of its own. That's just a phone, fam. Like, why are you freaked out about a phone? Hello? His voice was deep, tired. Not the type of someone who doesn't sleep or does too much during the day. It was more like someone who was always calm because it was also soft in its own way. Imagine a person with a big, intimidating complex. At the same time, you thought you could fall asleep if you read a story out loud. You decided to say hello. Hi, Kato. Hello! He repeated, this time more effusive. I don't think I heard your name. I'm, Lion. Lion? Nice name. I like it. It made you smile. Thank you. You babbled honestly. About the information you needed. Yeah, sure. Is there anyone else with you? It sounded like the start of a horror movie. Kato must have noticed because he immediately added laughter. I mean, would anyone else live with us, or do you have any recurring visits? Gosh, I still sound suspicious, don't I? It's just that I'm not very sociable. You heard her deep laugh purring through the phone. I would say I'm shy, but the truth is that I only hate people. Despite the joking tone, you could say that I was not completely lying. What about you? Do you like people? Or are you more of an introvert or extroverted person? I'm more of an introvert, if anything. I'm an introvert. I'm not the life of a party either. You're one of mine then. Sweet. You could tell by his tone and the way he kept talking that despite disliking people, Kato was friendly and was good at talking to strangers. You try to get back on topic. About your question, there won't be anyone else. I may have visitors, but I don't think it'll be a recurring thing. It'll be less than recurring, in fact. Okay, perfect. There was a moment of silence. You opened your mouth to continue the conversation, but the boy spoke first. Do you have any pets? And he had, that said you accepted them, but didn't say anything about if you already had any. Yeah, I don't have any right now. Sweet. For the next moment of silence, you could hear as if a pencil was dragging against a sheet. Maybe he was writing down the information. But that was normal considering the situation, right? I'll say something. You writing things down? Whoa. The voice got nervous, even if you try to hide it. What's wrong? You think I'm gonna kidnap you, Dulzora? He had a mocking tone, but definitely not against you. He just found the situation funny. I swear I won't. I pinky promise, if it helps. You laughed. Mostly to show you'd heard it because you didn't know what else to say. I'm just writing it down because a friend asked me to pass the information in case I decided to rent. He's also looking for a place. So, he spoke after a moment in a serious voice. It sounded like he was setting into some plush furniture. Do you have any pictures of you by any chance? I need it. That was a lot more personal than you thought, and you didn't understand what it had to do with the house. Well, man, you know how gullible I am. I'm just gonna send it. Sure, give me a sec. Also, that's a joke. Like, don't actually send your pictures out to strangers. That's just really freaking weird, fam. Careful not to hang up accidentally. You look for a photo you already had saved and return to messages. After pressing enter, you put your device into your ear again. There it goes. You got it? There was a silence on the line. Kato, still there? I'm still here. His voice had become a murmur for the first time in all the time you've spoken, which felt weird considering all that time his voice had sounded too confident. He cleared his throat. You have very nice eyes. The compliment took you by surprise. Oh, Kato, thank you, my little Kato. You couldn't help but notice that the way he said it sounded like someone who wasn't used to flattering. Not to mention that he had an honesty impossible to ignore. That only increased your embarrassment. You didn't know what to say. There was a little silence again, and you could hear Kato sighing as if he was making a decision. And after what felt like an eternity, he finally spoke. Can I come see the house? You know, just to confirm that I want to live there and all that jazz. Don't worry, Dulzora. I really just want to see the house. His voice sounded distracted, almost nervous. Oh, the call finished. Before you could answer the call, the call ended without you being able to do anything about it. You could try to call again, but by the way he hung up, you knew he wouldn't answer. You watched the TV for a few moments. Oh, the screen. Decided to clean the house. Kato, more precisely, your possible new roomie, could be here in any minute and you wanted to give a good impression. First impressions are more important than you think. Yeah, taken longer than I expected. But for your good luck, Kato did not show up in the midst of all the chaos. In fact, the night had fallen, there was no signs of anyone coming to the house. You dropped onto the couch. You needed a break. Maybe the kid wouldn't be here till tomorrow. Or so you thought until it not caught your attention. Who's not knocking out there? You get up, walked to the door, turned the handle, and opened. Why is he cute? On your doorstep, there was a tall, big, and eye-catching man. It was cute, and you didn't know if there was a reason you were unable to speak, or because you actually didn't expect him to arrive. Hey, Lion. The voice was enough to know that the person in front of you was in fact the boy you had been talking to before. It was almost painful to see him trying to act casual when his cheeks were so red, and the hand holding the cute bouquet of flowers trembled a little. What? You were also speechless. I didn't want to come empty-handed. That's all. He explained, look at the bouquet. You couldn't help but laugh lightheartedly. You like this with everyone who are looking for tenants. I don't think you really want to know that, Dulzura. Oh, so you are flirty with everyone, huh? You're flirty with all your landlords, huh? Is this how you get cheaper rent, huh, Kato? Tell me your secrets, Kato, because I would love to get cheaper rent. You laugh again. Well, why don't you come inside the house? That's why you're here. Sure, but to be honest, I already like what I'm seeing. What? The house? I mean, there couldn't be anything else you might like around here. Good ending. Roomie and the future will say... Fascinating. Alright, I do want to check out some of the other endings, so I'm just gonna go sleep first. You thought to sleeping for a while would be the best thing. You couldn't say no to a nap, and the truth was that you felt a certain tiredness for the past few days. You settled on the couch because now that you had a plan in mind, your bed felt too far away. You were about to fall asleep when the sound of your phone made you open your eyes. I'm gonna shut my phone. You take your phone, swipe your finger across the screen to unlock it, and check the messaging app. We're just gonna skip ahead, by the way. Whatever your name is, what do you want from me? Well, I forgot his name was Kato, but whatever. The marked day read the message immediately appeared, but he really took his time to answer. I want info about the room. Made sense. You sat on the couch getting ready to have a conversation you've had several times before. For starters, you needed to know who you were talking to. What's your name? I'm Kato. Didn't know for sure you've heard the name before. You made sure to add him. Hey, can I call you? The sounding question surprised you. No. You didn't want to have a call with a stranger. What? Dang! God damn it! It didn't give you time to answer. The screen changed and the phone started vibrating and ringing in your hands as if it had a life of your own. I'm not gonna answer. If you didn't want to answer, you wouldn't. He had to learn to respect privacy. God damn it, Kato! He was calling again. No! If you didn't want to answer, you wouldn't. You had to learn to respect privacy. God damn it, Kato! Again? He's calling again. Not answering. If you didn't want to answer, you wouldn't. You had to learn to respect privacy. Kato! What the heck? He was calling again. No! If you didn't want to answer, you wouldn't. You had to learn to respect privacy. No, Kato, please! He was calling again. I'll answer. Hello? His voice was deep, tired, but not the type of someone who doesn't sleep or does too much during the day. It was more like someone who was always calm because he was also soft in his own way. Imagine a person with a big, intimidating complex. At the same time, you thought you could fall asleep if you read it out loud. You decided to say hello. Hi, Kato. Hello! He repeated, this time more effusive. I didn't think I heard your name. I'm Lion. Lion? Nice name. I like it. It made you smile. Thank you. You babbled honestly. About the information you needed. Oh, sure. Is there anyone else with you? It sounded like the start of a horror movie. We're just gonna skip ahead again. So, Kato, what if I'm an extrovert instead? An extrovert? I'm an extrovert. I like to be around people. Oh, well, if you invite me to a party, I may not refuse. I'll let you teach me a thing or two about socializing. You could tell by his tone and the way he kept talking that despite disliking people, Kato was friendly and was good at talking to strangers. Skipping again. And I'm not gonna say anything about you scribbly diddly down there. He probably has bad memory. Or he liked to have everything organized. The last one was always a good thing in a roomie. So, he spoke after a moment in a serious voice. It sounded like he was settling in some plush furniture. Do you have any pictures of you by any chance? I need it. It was more personal and you didn't understand what it had to do with the house. Okay, if I send him my picture, would it change the ending? Like, considering I was so rude throughout this whole thing. I'll send it for now. Sure, give me a sec. Careful not to hang out accidentally. You look for a photo you had already saved and return to messages. After pressing enter, you put the device into your ear again. There it goes. You got it? There was a silence on the line. Kato, you still there? I'm still here. There was something wrong with his voice. He couldn't explain it in words, but he felt a chill. You have to be careful who you talk to. You didn't know what to say. You were afraid. There was a little silence again, and you could hear Kato sighing. Hello? Kato? 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 He hung up. Just like that. He looked at the phone like it was going to magically reconnect the call. Seriously? He sighed, trying to remember if he had said something that might upset him. First impressions were more important than he thought. It's fine. It wasn't the first time people suddenly stopped communicating with you. Although you had to admit that doing it in the middle of a call was at least disconcerting. You spent a few hours talking to a couple more interesting people, and it wasn't until you were about to go to bed that a knock on the door caught your attention. You turned around with a grunt, walked to the door, turned the handle, and opened. Something pushed you to the ground, and the pain that invaded your head and back was intense enough to make you close your eyes and let out a pitiful gasp. Frick! This is much harder than before. Opening your eyes as fast as you could, you find a pair of blue eyes and a silver glow above you. It's not personal, Dilzura. Your ex-boyfriend just can't let you go. Ex-boyfriend? And he's too much of a coward to do this on your own. You were sent by my ex? You could have avoided this? What? Okay, what for? Why would you need my picture for? What do you need it for? To see who I would live with. What if you're a criminal? I'm at risk too, you know? He used a playful tone again, and his voice gave you an unexpected sudden assurance. Actually, he's right. After all, you were a stranger to him too. Sure, give me a sec. Careful not to hang up accidentally, you look for a photo you had already saved and return to messages. After pressing enter, you put the device in your ear again. There it goes. You got it? There was a silence on the line. Kato, you still there? I'm still here. There was something wrong with his voice. You couldn't explain it in words, but he felt a chill. You have to be careful who you talk. Oh, goddammit. Same ending. So what if I don't send my picture? You could pass up a few things, but this was already making you feel too uncomfortable. I'm not gonna send you that. I didn't think it was such an irrational request. His attempt not to sound annoyed failed. You didn't know what to say. Perhaps you may have considered that you were exaggerating, but by a sudden anger over something so simple alerted you. If your ex-partner had taught you something, it was to be careful even with the smallest things. You still didn't answer. Come on, you serious? I'm sorry. Was the only thing you could whisper. There was no response. Kato! He hung up. You frowned after putting your phone down. Maybe it's for the best. When you looked around the safety of your house, you had a feeling of having dodged a bullet. You spent a few hours talking to a couple more interested people, and it wasn't until you're about to go to sleep that a knock on the door caught your attention. You turned around with a grunt, walked to the door, turned the handle, and opened. Something pushed you to the ground, pain invaded your head, and back was intense enough to make your eyes close and let out a pitiful gasp. I'm guessing we died again. Well, we died again. Frick. Okay, so right now we're gonna go for the neutral ending, and apparently the way to get this is that you gotta, like, raise his affection points, just be genuinely nice, and when he asks you for a photo, like, we just don't send it. You could pass up a few things, but this was already making you feel too uncomfortable. I'm not gonna send you that. I didn't think it was such an irrational request. His attempt not to sound annoying failed. He didn't know what to say. Perhaps you may have considered that you were exaggerating, yet his sudden anger over something so simple alerted you. If your ex-partner had taught you anything, it was to be careful even with the smallest things. You still didn't answer. Come on, you serious? I'm sorry. It was the only thing you could whisper. There was no response. You're doing good at taking care of yourself. Keep that up. You almost thought that was a warning, but the tone they used next let you know that wasn't the case. Please. He begged with a weak voice. Okay. He hung up. He frowned after putting your phone down. Maybe it's for the best. We looked around at the safety of your house. You had a feeling that you dodged a bullet. But your heart was still feeling anxious after the last thing he said. It was pretty late and you haven't heard anything more about Kato. You answered a few more messages of other interested people, but it ended like it started. Tomorrow will be another day. Neutral ending. Maybe it was for the best. Anyway, that was Red Phone. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to play this game for yourself, link to the game will be in the description below. I quite enjoyed this. I think Kato had a really cute design, and I'm hoping we get to see more of him soon enough. And really just see how absolutely unhinged he could get. I mean, heck, as far as I know, he was sent by our ex. So like, I wonder how the story unfolds after he moves in with us. Like, is it a ruse? Does he actually like us? I have no idea. We'll find out if the game dev ever decides to make a continuation of this. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.